Yes, we are live now. Very, very happy viewers and Dr. Kruti Trivedi Abhyankar. Welcome to Varun Kapur Show. It is indeed
Hello.
my pleasure to host this show on behalf of Rotary Club of Addiction Prevention, Rotary Club of Mumbai Elite from Rotary District 3141, India. I'm very thankful to Varun Kapur for this platform, which he has built over more than 10 years. Let me introduce you to what is the genesis of this series, Dr. Kruti. When we lost Sushant Singh Rajput, it created a tsunami of sorts. For many of us, he was not just an actor. He's a philanthropist, somebody who loved human beings and contributed a lot to the society besides being an actor. Everyone knew he was drugged without his knowledge and gaslighted and finally extinguished from the face of this earth, but we are not ready to let it go. So a huge movement started for justice for SSR. That brought us together, people from all over the world together. So Varun Kapoor hosts one channel which brings people from all over the world together. The menace of drugs became very clear to us when we researched about this. And many of us in this movement got into the social media and became active after he passed away for fighting for justice. So, and many of us also became victims of cyberbullying. Then we realized we must start an awareness series so that we really create Swachh Bharat, where people have clean, healthy habits.
Hmm.
Varun Kapoor is invested in this, and so we are here. Viewers, I'm very delighted to introduce Dr. Kruti Trivedi Abhyankar. Dr. Kruti is a consulting homeopath. She's certified emotion releasing process therapist. She's also a certified emotional intelligence coach with special interest in digital well-being. She is an NSD certified cybercrime intervention officer. NSD means National Security Database. Dr. Kriti completed her Bachelor of Homeopathic Medicine and Surgery in 2012 from Chandaben Mohanbai Patel Homeopathic Medical College in Mumbai. For international audiences, admission for this course is done via merit ranking in national eligibility come entrance test. This is a bachelor's medical degree like any other medical degree with 4.5 years of studies and 1 year internship. She has an independent homeopathic practice since 2012. She is a certified emotional intelligence coach from Equipoise Learning Private Limited and a certified diabetes educator from American Diabetes Association. She is the founder of Akriti Healthcare, which started in the year 2017, and Log Inwards, that is 2022, it was started. So she has been taking awareness and group therapy sessions for parents, teenagers, and adults on digital addiction and wellness since the year 2019. She also treats and counsels patients with digital addiction and any underlying psychological issues. She was interviewed by Gujarati Midday newspaper regarding her initiative in 2019, and her article on digital wellness and emotional intelligence was published in Sakal newspaper Kolhapur special edition in 2021 and 22 respectively. She, along with the project team, rolled out Project Logout, via which they have already screened more than 1,500 students for digital addiction. She has conducted awareness session for more than 2,000 students till now. Welcome to the show, Dr. Kriti Trivedi Abhyankar. It is
Thank you.
very
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And I'm glad to be on your show so that, we can reach more and more people and bring awareness.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm so full of amazement when I read about all these qualifications and achievements at such a young age. You have a small baby, just not even 1 year old. So It is very interesting to note that you had a flourishing homeopathy career and now you're working with missionary zeal to spread awareness about digital addiction and how this can be very harmful. So, can you just share with our listeners how did this journey start?
Yes. So when I was practicing, initially, एज यू नो सबको पता है कि होम्योपैथी की पिल्स बहुत स्वीट होती है, तो बच्चे बहुत आराम से खा लेते हैं एंड यू नो दे डोंट मेक अ फस कि मुझे दवाई नहीं लेनी है, एंड इवन पेरेंट्स आर हैप्पी दैट यू नो दे आर टेकिंग मेडिसिन वेरी वेल. So I had a lot of children as patients, and initially in my practice I was seeing lot of children. तो जब भी वो लोग, और आपको पता होगा कि होम्योपैथी में यू नो वी फील एंड वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट माइंड एंड बॉडी आर कनेक्टेड, सो आर फर्स्ट case history is always very long. So we try to know the person inside out, and based on that we prescribe medicines. So
Correct.
whenever we used to interview parents, they used to always bring obviously their children with them. And बच्चे तो कैसे होते हैं, they get bored very easily. तो जब भी वो क्लिनिक में आते थे, they used to get bored कि अरे ये क्या बातें किए जा रहा है ये दोनों, और
खत्म
हमको
ही
हम
नहीं
क्या
होगी।
करें, what do we do? सो जब वो बच्चे बोर होके पेरेंट्स को परेशान करना चालू करते थे, तो पेरेंट्स यूज टू गेट फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड दे यूज टू जस्ट गिव देम देयर फोन्स. ओके, फोन दे देते थे, वो बच्चे साइड पे 1 घंटा 2 घंटा आप जितना भी बात करो करना है करो, हम हमारे फोन में बिजी है. दे वुड नॉट इवन यू नो एक अपना सिर उठा के भी नहीं देखते थे. दे वुड नॉट इवन आस्क फॉर वाटर और फूड. So
Wow.
when I started
Observe.
seeing this pattern, what I used to do is, instead of that, then I realized that you know this is not the right practice. So I used to take phone from children's hand, and then I used to tell them कि okay, I used to give them a paper and pen or pencil, and I used to tell them draw whatever you want. ओके आपके पास 1 घंटा है, पूरा कागज भर जाना चाहिए. यू हैव टू ड्रॉ, लाइक एवरी कॉर्नर शुड बी यूटिलाइज्ड एंड यू हैव टू ड्रॉ समथिंग. And still they would you know sit for 1 hour and they would draw everything. And basically वो टाइम का यूटिलाइजेशन आपने कैसे किया, स्टिल बच्चे जो है वो तो 1 घंटा बिजी रहे ही. ओके, तो ये सब जब चीज मैंने ऑब्जर्व करना चालू किया, एंड देन यू नो आई यूज टू ट्रैवल, एंड देन आई यूज टू सी कि ओके मोर एंड मोर चिल्ड्रन आर गेटिंग एडिक्टेड टू phones and even laptops and tabs. Then I realized, you know, and it also started affecting their mental health, their development. I started seeing a lot of these complaints in children. So then I realized कि अगर हमको आगे के जनरेशन को ये चीज़ों से बचाना है, या फिर ये चीज़ों से यू नो ऐसी फ्रेंडशिप करवानी है कि जिसकी वजह से यू नो द रिलेशनशिप इज स्ट्रॉन्गर, एंड ऑल्सो उसकी वजह से नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए. तो एंड यू शुड ऑल्सो यूज अप्रोप्रिएटली, रिस्पॉन्सिबली एंड माइंडफुली. तो देन आई रियलाइज दैट this is need of the hour, and then I started reading about it. I read a lot of books on it, read a lot of research articles on it, and then I did this certification in cybercrime.
Wow.
So obviously, and by that time I had already started taking sessions with parents and children. um, it is very satisfying when you actually make them understand about the whole thing, and when they understand it and you know apply it in their lives. So this is how my journey started.
Very interesting that you were not just focusing on the patients and their talk, but you also saw what was happening around the children and how it is affecting them. And child's mind is so very impression. That is a very impressionable age, and you took the right intervention. Very beautiful. I must really laud you for this because you yourself are just a child. So I really feel how wonderful it is that you have been able to do the right intervention. Like here in US also, when we go to several clinics, we find that they have kept a lot of toys for children to play around also.
Yes.
So especially children's clinic, they have kept a lot of toys so children can play with it. But probably in Indian environment, you will also have to check out when children are going if they will take it away. So that is why it becomes not possible all the time to do it in our Indian clinics. Anyway, how did your association with Rotary Club of Addiction Prevention start, and how did this help you in your journey for fighting digital addiction?
So obviously, initially I was doing this on my own. So when you are doing things alone, the impact is not so much. Then Dr. Rohan Bartake, who is our charter president. So
Right.
when our club started, he was the president.
Yeah.
He is senior from my college.
Mm.
So I happened to talk with him, and he is very closely associated with tobacco de-addiction.
Yeah.
Then he told me about this club where it is a cause based club, and we are going to deal with all the four kinds of addictions. And uh, there are very few people who are actually working in digital de-addiction, so I would really like you to be on the team.
Okay.
And I was very very interested. So then I thought this is an opportunity where I can reach more and more people. And जो मेरी एक्चुअली मेरा जो गोल है, जो मेरा एम है टू टू रीच
Right.
more and more children and parents and teachers, I think Rotary can help me do this. So this is how I got associated with Rotary Club of Addiction Prevention.
Yeah.
And now our president is Dr. Neelam Gada, and we have approached many schools, and every day some or the other activities are happening, and I'm really glad to be part of this organization.
So very wonderful. Sometimes people are just part of the organization for name's sake. But when an organization is created with a cause in mind, as it is, Rotary is committed to the cause of community service. But this
Yes.
particular club is very focused that this is a cause that we are going to address, and all kinds of addictions, and amazing members you have got. And I know Dr. Rohan Batake from his very young days, even before he joined Rotary.
Oh,
And then
okay.
yes, so he has been part of many of the camps and all that we have conducted. In fact,
Yes.
at Varun Kapur's channel also, once I had invited him to talk about tobacco de-addiction. He had come again. We will invite him now as part of the show. So thank you very much about expressing how Rotary can increase your bandwidth and reaching to more people, because it gives you the network to reach out, because
Yes,
Rotary has got to
definitely.
attract and interact the younger for branches, for the younger students, the college students who are above the age of 16, and for school students for above the age of 12. So what happens is all the age groups you are able to reach.
Yes.
So that is something wonderful. Now, moving on to understanding more about digital addiction, what are some of the indications that tell you that you yourself, sometimes we ourselves are addicted and we will not know? So, how
Yeah.
can we recognize what are those indications that tell me that I myself am moving from healthy use of digital media to the zone of digital addiction, so that I can identify myself and also identify when somebody else is doing it?
Yeah.
What are some of those signs?
So basically, digital addiction is a behavioral addiction. So there are no substances involved, but it works in the same way. So कैसा है कि whenever there is a fine line between habit and addiction.
Addiction.
So जब हम कोई भी चीज़ यूज़ करना चालू करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल सोशल मीडिया, ओके, जब हम सोशल मीडिया यूज़ करना चालू करते हैं, वी माइट बी यूजिंग इट फॉर डिफरेंट पर्पसेस, ओके, बट व्हेन it starts affecting our lives
Yeah.
in like aspects of life, like our relationships, with family, spouse, or friends, or when it starts affecting our physical health, it starts affecting our sleep, it starts affecting our work, in children especially, it starts affecting their school and academics. So when it starts affecting any aspect of your life, that's when you should be alert about it or aware about it, कि okay, कहीं ना कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है. So I
Exactly.
would just like to list down a few symptoms which we look for in patients, so to understand if they are addicted or no. So
Right.
in behavioral addictions, there are few specific symptoms which we look for.
Hmm.
एक है preoccupation. So preoccupation with thought, with the thoughts of continuously using internet or a particular digital platform you are addicted to. So
Yes.
I would just like to tell you that there are different types of digital addiction, where internet addiction disorder is a general term which is used for addiction to internet. But then there are specific addictions like social media addiction. Then there is gaming disorder. Then there are online shopping addiction, pornography addiction. Then there is gambling addiction, online gambling addiction.
Yes.
And then there is compulsive internet surfing, so where you just surf to collect more and more information and nothing else. So
Yes.
these are a few types of digital addictions, where जब भी देर इज टोटल प्री ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ थॉट्स, मतलब आप कुछ भी अगर काम कर रहे होंगे तो यू वुड लाइक टू फिनिश इट फास्ट एंड गेट बैक टू दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. सो
Yeah.
इफ आई एम वर्किंग एंड सो आई विल थिंक ओके मुझे मेरा काम फटाफट खत्म करके आई वांट टू गेट बैक टू माय गेम. सो इफ
Yeah.
आई एम अडिक्टेड टू अ पर्टिकुलर गेम, कैंडी क्रश
Correct.
समझो, तो I'll be like, okay, let me finish my work, and as soon as I finish my work, I will take phone in my hand and I will start playing Candy Crush.
So your heart is
Uh,
not in it.
Yes. So whatever you do, your heart is in the game or in that particular digital platform, but you are
Yeah.
physically only working or present over there. Then
Yes.
second thing is, uh, there is also increased tolerance. मतलब आपने देखा होगा कि when a person is addicted to alcohol or drugs or tobacco, धीरे धीरे उनका जो लेने का क्वांटिटी है वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ता जाता है.
Correct.
Just like that, even in digital addiction, the quantity of time जो आप
Oh.
इन्वेस्ट करते हो वो धीरे धीरे इट स्टार्ट्स इंक्रीजिंग. सो
Okay.
इफ यू रियलाइज कि अच्छा मैं पहले सिर्फ हाफ एन आवर यूज करता था या करती थी a particular digital platform or internet in general, and then now I am using it for 1 hour, now it has increased to 2 hours, and now I am apart from your work hours or academic studies or जो भी पार्ट है उसके अलावा आप दिन का मेजर जो चंक है वो ये पर्टिकुलर डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे या फोन पे या लैपटॉप पे आप यूज कर रहे हो या इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो. सो
Right.
योर इंक्रीज टॉलरेंस मीन्स योर time on that particular digital platform is increasing.
Yeah.
Third is withdrawal symptoms. Just like you get withdrawal symptoms in alcohol and drugs
Drugs.
and tobacco or any kind of addiction, because you are so habituated to doing those things. If you are not given that particular thing, for
Yeah.
example, if you're not given that particular game, or if you are not able to access internet, people go crazy.
Oh,
People get into
I know.
anger
Right.
fits. They rage ho jata hai unko. They start shouting, they start crying. You can see these videos on YouTube
They'll go
जहाँ
and
पे
pay
बच्चे
in a hotel and stay because I'm not
yes,
getting internet. Yeah, absolutely.
जहाँ पे बच्चे छोटे छोटे 2-2 3-3 साल के, if phone is taken from their hand,
They'll cry.
how they react you should see
Howl and
in
cry
those
and
videos.
yeah. Throw
recently
things.
i think रिसेंटली आई थिंक एक वीडियो सर्कुलेट हुआ था, आई थिंक अ मंथ और 2 months बैक,
Right.
जहाँ पे एक लड़के ने, बिकॉज उसके फादर ने उसके पास से उसका फोन ले लिया था, ही एक्चुअली ब्रोक द होल हाउस.
Yeah, the पूरा घर बिखरा पड़ा था.
पूरा घर बिखेर दिया एंड तोड़ दिया. ठीक है. सो दीज आर विड्रॉल सिम्टम्स एंड द रिएक्शन टू विड्रॉल. So they can get angry, and there is an opposite reaction also where they get completely sad and depressed and they'll start crying. Okay, so these
Yes.
are the symptoms you should look for when something like this is happening to you.
शुरू होने के पहले like for example one of my friends she said that खाना बनाती थी and then she's going and looking at it, then suddenly burning smell आ रहा है, then she
हाँ.
realized okay I'm all the frequency also, even if
Yes.
you're doing something important, guests आने वाले हैं, कुछ important बनाना है, but even at the time you have the urge to go and look at your phone when
Yes,
people are there in
exactly.
your house, you're talking with them, फिर भी आप phone देख रहे हो, उनके साथ बैठे हो, but you're looking at the phone all the time, so you're not with them. किसी का बर्थडे
Yes.
सेलिब्रेट करने जा रहे हो, everybody is clapping, looking at the cake, and there is nothing important going on, but still you are browsing through the internet or going through your phone.
Right.
So all these kind of things also make us realize that okay, I'm not with the people who are there physically with me, and I'm with someone who probably doesn't even know me or
Yeah.
doesn't care whether I live or don't live. Am I living, not living, my feelings, nothing make a difference to that person. But
Yes.
there I am, not with the
Hmm.
people who really care for me.
Yeah.
So
And
that is
then there is and then there is social isolation also, because you like to spend more time online rather than in real people. Okay, so then
right.
there will be decreased socialization where uh, uh, children like to spend time only with mobile or iPad or tablets or on like gaming, and then they will avoid even talking to family members and even going out and meeting friends. Okay, so
Very
when
true.
you see if your child has decreased socialization, the child is not talking to you, or even if you are feeling and if you are getting that feel that even you are going through the same thing, then ये सब जो साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स है वो आप एक नजर में रख सकते हैं. यू कैन कीप इट इन योर माइंड एंड देन इफ यू कैन लुक फॉर इट. अगर कुछ भी अगर इसमें से अगर आपको दिखता है तो देन यू हैव टू बी अवेयर कि ओके कहीं ना कहीं आई एम गेटिंग एडिक्टेड एंड आई हैव टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस. देन we have also seen because of gaming and other stuff, children become very aggressive. They start abusing because video games में ये abusing and all बहुत commonly use होता है. uh, when they play
उनका
multiplayer.
vocabulary change हो जाती है, right? The words that they use become
Yes,
different. Yeah,
yes.
they are so
The
influenced.
way they behave in the house and with friends also change. Then there is also something called as जहाँ पे they will hang out in that circle only. So for example, if I am addicted to PUBG, I will only have friends who play PUBG because I will not connect with anyone else.
Oh, okay.
तो अगर मेरे सर्कल में 5 फ्रेंड्स है, उसमें से 2 अगर पबजी नहीं खेलते हैं, 3 खेलते हैं, तो आई विल बी मोर लाइक आई विल बी क्लोजर टू देम, एंड वो जो 2 है उनको हम आइसोलेट कर देंगे. सो दिस हैपेंस. आपने देखा होगा इवन अल्कोहल, ड्रग्स और टोबैको में भी पीपल
Yeah,
हु स्मोक, दे हैव अ ग्रुप. पीपल हु
yes,
ड्रिंक, दे हैव अ ग्रुप. So just like that, it applies in the digital addiction. So
correct.
these are the common signs and symptoms we see, and apart from that, obviously physical health में जो affect होता है plus mental health में, that is there.
Yeah, so we will come to that now. Like for
Hmm.
example, like you were saying, it is a natural tendency, right? शायरी जिसको पसंद है वो शायरी पसंद है, उसके साथ बैठेंगे. Bollywood गाना पसंद है वो लोग, they
Yes.
all will form their own groups like गाना groups. So this is natural, but when these things happen with kind of addictions, then it becomes dangerous and they are excluding others, right?
Yes.
For example, गाना गाने वाले के बीच में गाना सुनने वाला भी अच्छा लगता है उनको, because they don't want only singers, they also want people who will join them and clap for them and not
Yes.
expect that
Listen
I
to
should
them.
be given a stage time. So they
Hmm.
really welcome such people because everybody is eager to. आप कुछ बात करें तो कुछ गाए तो I am just thinking of what is the Ghana that I will go and sing. So I'm not really appreciating what you're doing. So they
Yes.
want people who really pay attention, listen, and appreciate. So they want that. But that doesn't happen in this world. They want only people who are addicted to that, because
Yes.
then they will add more fuel to the fire and it becomes more interesting for them. So
Yeah.
that is what they are looking for. So after all, it is a gadget that we ourselves, like whether it is a cell phone or a laptop, we know that it is useful, we need it, so we ourselves go for it, pay money, buy it, and then we learn to use it and access digital media voluntarily. And then how is it that it becomes a threat for physical health? So
Hmm.
what are the how it impacts the impacts physical health? So can we
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
So हाँ.
Like
So
you
there
said,
are
social exclusion, people don't go out to play,
hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They'll stop their gymming activity, all those things. So how does it
Yes.
impact health?
So I start with children first. So very
Mm,
young children, if they are given screens very early in life, okay.
mm,
More and more cases are coming where if screens are given to them very early, uh, uh, उन लोगों में लैंग्वेज मतलब लैंग्वेज डीले देखा गया है, बिकॉज फाइनली लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट के लिए देर इज टू एंड फ्रो कम्युनिकेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड, वेर
correct.
टू वे कम्युनिकेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. तो अगर मैं सिर्फ स्क्रीन में से जो आ रहा है सिर्फ वही सुन रहा हूँ या सुन रही हूँ, एंड इफ आई एम नॉट कम्युनिकेटिंग, then obviously my language center will not get activated and my language will not develop so well. So
Yeah,
बिकॉज लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट के लिए कंटिन्यूअसली पेरेंट्स के साथ या कोई भी केयर टेकर के साथ बात करना इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. व्हेन द चाइल्ड रिस्पॉन्ड्स, ओनली देन द चाइल्ड स्टार्ट्स लर्निंग लैंग्वेज.
Correct.
So this is one thing, and then there is developmental delay in terms of motor development. जहाँ पे, because if they are sitting only in one place and see looking at the screen, they will not walk, they will not stand up on their own. So motor developmental delay भी कभी कभी देखा गया है if screens are given too early in life, and if they are not stimulated enough to walk or do motor activities. Then
Absolutely.
and then attention deficit is very important, especially in children, because screens and all these YouTube channels which they provide, even rhymes for that matter.
Yeah.
Parents feel that okay, it is completely okay to give them educational material or rhymes, but then there should be some time limit to it, and you should watch with them. You should not give the device in the hands of children,
Right.
because क्या होता है फिर वो लोग कुछ भी देख सकते हैं, they
Yeah.
will see anything. But if you want that your child should learn this, you should sit with the child and you should show them, okay, we will see this together, and you can make them understand कि अच्छा इसके बाद ये है, इसके बाद वो है, and then you can set a limit on screen time also.
Right.
अगर बहुत ज्यादा स्क्रीन टाइम हो गया तो उसकी वजह से, बिकॉज द कंटेंट इज सो स्टिमुलेटिंग, फुल ऑफ कलर्स, फुल ऑफ मूवमेंट्स,
Yes.
फुल ऑफ लाइट्स, तो उनको रियल लाइफ में चीजें बहुत
बड़े नहीं
बोरिंग
रोक पाते,
लगती है.
फिर बच्चे
या
कैसे?
सो दे डोंट एंजॉय रीडिंग बुक्स,
Correct.
बिकॉज बुक्स में फिर वो सब स्टिमुलेशन नहीं होता है. सो ग्रेजुअली वी हैव सीन दैट चिल्ड्रन हैव स्टॉप्ड रीडिंग बुक्स. अगर
Really.
पेरेंट्स ने वो जो हैबिट है वो इनकलकेट नहीं की, तो children won't like reading books, because
That is a
finally it's not
great
so
thing that I
stimulating.
find in this generation. No,
Yeah.
suppose I have read a book and then I see it made into a movie. I go for a movie and generally I come back disappointed because my imagination is able to create so many things, and I find that movie falls short of it. Oh, 15, 500 hours का book हो, they converted it into just 2 hour movie. उसमें बहुत कुछ कम लगता है. But nowadays, children are happy with watching the movie. They don't want to read the book. You said it
I
right. So the
completely
power of
agree to this.
imagination, creativity is so curtailed because of this, right? It's curtailed.
So, so in digital, this particular thing we call it as space time compression effect, कि जहाँ पे आपके लिए स्पेस और टाइम दोनों को कंप्रेस किया गया है, एंड दे गिव इट टू यू.
Okay,
सो
okay.
फॉर
You don't
एग्जाम्पल,
even realize it.
हाँ, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप जंगल सफारी में जाओगे, even to spot a tiger you have to go and visit like twice and thrice. Only if you're lucky you'll be able to spot a tiger or spot a hippopotamus or any animal for that matter. नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक चैनल पे आपको 3 मिनट की क्लिप में वो पूरा हंटिंग का सीन दिखा देते हैं, ओके. बट फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर सीन, the photographer might have stayed there for 3 months or 6 months, and वो एक 3 मिनट का क्लिपिंग के लिए he might have worked so hard, and only then he has produced this particular clipping.
Very
That's
true.
what we don't make our children understand.
Yeah,
तो उसकी वजह से उनको क्या लगता है, एवरीथिंग इज सो इजी, मतलब अगर हम जंगल सफारी को जा रहे हैं तो हमको ऐसा ही दिखना चाहिए.
correct. Exactly, exactly. They
हाँ,
want
एंड बिकॉज
satisfaction
ऑफ दैट
immediately.
देयर अटेंशन स्पैन इज सो लेस, कि उनको लगता है अरे कितना टाइम वी हैव टू वेट,
Such a
यू नो.
beautiful example you gave. Absolutely. Yeah.
सेम इज विथ DIY वीडियोस. इफ यू सी, टाइम लैप्स होता है. सो टाइम
Yeah.
लैप्स में एक्चुअली वो जो एक्टिविटी 3-4 घंटे की होती है, दे शो इट इन आइदर 5 मिनट्स और
5 minutes
10 मिनट्स.
or 3 minutes.
तो
Yeah.
बच्चों को लगता है ओके ये तो बहुत इजी है, हम ऐसे फटाफट कर लेंगे. When they actually start doing it, then
Yeah.
they realize, oh my god, it takes so much time.
Yeah.
Sometimes children who are not very persistent and not, they don't have strong willpower, what they'll do, they'll
Which
leave it in between, they'll give up. Okay,
yeah.
but अगर पेरेंट्स ने ये चीज उनको समझाना चालू किया, देन दे विल अंडरस्टैंड कि ओके, जो ऑनलाइन सब कुछ होता है वो रियल टाइम और रियल स्पेस में नहीं होता है.
Exactly.
इट इज कंप्रेस्ड फॉर अस.
Yes, yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes. Why
Yeah,
even
so this is,
recipes?
yeah, so
Right.
this is about attention, so this is about children. And in general, in obviously it obviously if you have a lot of like excessive screen time, even for work purpose or educational purpose, it will still affect your physical health. Okay,
Yeah.
so because if you are constantly looking at the screen, your eyes get affected, you might have redness in the eyes, strain in the eyes,
Most
watering
probably.
eyes, headache होता है, neck pain होता है, because there is something called as text neck syndrome, where if you're constantly using phone in this particular posture, so your
Posture.
neck makes an angle with the spine, and
Yeah.
because of that your head ka weight जो spine
Yeah.
पे आता है, it is felt more, and because of that इधर के जो नसें होती है वो थोड़ी थोड़ी दबना चालू हो जाती है.
Exactly.
And then sometimes you also get symptoms like cervical spondylosis, where tingling and numbness in the hand. ये सब हो सकता है. Apart from that, back
Back to
problems
pain.
people feel. One very important thing is sleep disturbances, which are very common.
Yeah.
I think most people, मैंने जहाँ जहाँ पे अवेयरनेस सेशंस लिए हैं, everyone has agreed कि अच्छा फोन की वजह से हमारे स्लीप की बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हुई है.
Correct.
It is completely reversible, but what happens is phones and all these screens,
Right.
they emit blue light. Okay, so this
Yeah.
blue light is also a part of spectrum of white light जो sunlight में आती है. And
Okay.
then उसका काम ये है कि जब वो अपने आइस रेटिना पे पड़ती है, तो देन इट गिव्स सिग्नल टू द ब्रेन दैट डे टाइम हो गया है and you
Oh.
have to be awake. Okay, so it actually activates your system so that you wake up in the morning and then you start working. अभी
That
अगर ये
is why
सेम
they
ब्लू
say when
लाइट
you
अगर
sleep
आप
at midnight, don't take your cell phone. Okay, now
यस,
I got it. Yes.
तो देन अगर आप रात को अगर स्क्रीन यूज कर रहे हो जहां से ब्लू लाइट एमिट हो रही है,
Right.
आपके रेटिना को और आपके ब्रेन को कॉन्स्टेंटली यही सिग्नल जाता है कि ओके
Yeah,
दिस
then
इज
you
डे
don't fall
टाइम.
asleep. Absolutely. I have experienced this.
हम्म.
Yes.
तो
Right.
उसकी वजह से वो कॉन्स्टेंटली हमेशा एक्टिवेटेड और एनर्जाइज ही रहते हैं, एंड देन योर स्लीप टाइम गेट्स डिलेड. सो आई
Yes.
ऑलवेज सजेस्ट कि 9 बजे के बाद यू शुड ऑलवेज यूज योर फोन इन नाइट मोड और ब्लू लाइट फिल्टर मोड ओनली इफ इट इज रिक्वायर्ड, and at least 1 hour before sleeping you should stop using any device so that you can sleep peacefully.
So is there some setting where you can do the blue light filter mode? Hey, kya?
या सो यूजुअली आजकल सारे ही फोन्स में नाइट मोड या ब्लू लाइट फिल्टर मोड आता है, बट इफ
Okay.
यू डोंट हैव अ ब्लू लाइट फिल्टर मोड और नाइट मोड इन योर फोन, यू कैन डाउनलोड इट फ्रॉम प्ले स्टोर. ओके,
Okay.
सो व्हाट इट डज इज ब्लू लाइट का जो भी पार्ट रहता है, इट जस्ट डिडक्ट्स इट एंड इट विल शो यू आइदर इन ग्रीन लाइट और एकदम डिम लाइट,
Wow.
सो दैट योर आईज आर ऑल्सो प्रोटेक्टेड एट नाइट.
It will
एंड यू
be a
कैन
great
ऑल्सो
help because
सेट.
I'm here in the US, and most
हाँ.
of the time, all the Indians, people from native place, they keep writing messages. So when I
हाँ.
get up at night, I have a tendency to look at the phone, kuch important hai
Yeah.
kya? And then it just gets delayed. And I realize, oh, I was so sleepy. How come my sleep went away? Right?
Exactly.
Now you gave me the reason why. Because I was so sleepy, I just had the intention of just looking at one person's message, and then
Hmm.
I go on. You said it.
या,
Absolutely.
एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो सेट अ टाइमर कि 9 बजे से आपको ब्लू लाइट फिल्टर मोड ऑन करना है, या 8 बजे से करना है, या 10 बजे से करना है. सो यू कैन एक्चुअली सेट अ टाइमर, एंड देन वो मोड में आप फोन यूज करेंगे तो देर विल बी थोड़ा कम नुकसान होगा.
Correct. There is something called as night mode. I have seen, but I didn't know what it is, so I never tried it. I didn't even explore that. Now I will do that. Yes. And another thing is also I've heard that these children, because they're seated all the time, even adults, they don't go out, they don't go for walks, they don't go
Yeah,
out to play. Then obesity also develops,
obesity, yes.
and all the time because you're sitting in front of the screen, you are munching something, and then that also leads to
Yeah.
obesity.
So, the childhood obesity is not directly related to digital addiction or excessive screen time, but it
Hmm.
is indirectly related. The way you told me,
Yeah.
ki, they, because they prefer spending time online, they will not go out and play. There is no physical activity. They
Yeah,
don't
even
go for
even
physical
then, in so
play.
many houses I've seen कि तुम ये serial देखो एक खाना खा लो. So
हाँ.
what happens is the children want more screen time, so they eat more or they just delay that so that they can watch more.
हाँ. और जब भी हम टीवी देखते देखते या फिर कोई भी गैजेट के सामने बैठ के खाते हैं, तो देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड सटाइटी सेंटर इन आवर ब्रेन. तो वो थोड़ा डिम हो जाता है, जिसकी वजह से आपको पता नहीं चलता है कभी कभी कि आप कितना खा रहे हो. Either you will eat less or you will eat
You
more.
don't feel the
So children
satiety.
don't realize. Children don't realize that okay, I'm eating more or less, and then they keep on hogging. दूसरा चीज ये है कि while watching something or the other, they always see advertisements of these junk foods
Yeah.
and these drinks and all. So they will feel like having those things, and then they will start having it more. So in this way it actually makes them prone to obesity.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. It may not be the directly the effect, like you said, blue light emits and then you don't sleep. It is not directly because of that, but there are other ways in which it influences our eating habits. Yeah.
Yes.
So in the earlier weeks, we had discussed about drug addiction and alcohol addiction, and the
Huh.
people who had come here, that they said that these addictions influence our brain. They
Hmm.
alter the way our brain works, and then ultimately they damage the brain. So how
Yes.
does digital addiction alter and impact the brain? Does it damage?
So recently, many studies have been done where they there's something called as internet addiction disorder, and for that there are tests also which you can take, and so that we come to know if the person is addicted or no.
Okay.
So in this study, they studied a few men and women who were addicted, and they compared it with healthy, not addicted
Okay.
men and women. So they saw that there are some abnormal white matters in brain jahan se neural pathways and connections jate hai. So they lose some connections to their emotional part of brain, decision making, self control. So all these aspects of your life get affected because of addiction. And
Okay.
they also saw that it is almost similar to the brain changes are almost similar to other substance related addictions.
Wow. This
These
is
studies are also available, yeah, on the
yeah,
internet. You can just go and
physically we can
read
absolutely.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is such a revealing and very important information. I think people must know that, because very often many things that we say, people think, oh, these are all fears and we can overcome that. But when it is when you have such research, then definitely people feel more strongly about this. So then also we see, that it impacts mental health. So what are the ways that impacts mental health, where it impacts our attitude, it changes personality, uh, causes unhealthy thoughts, etc. You talked about how ADHD develops, so you can talk in more detail about how it can impact our mental health.
Yeah. So there are many studies, if you see, especially related to social media, I would
Hmm.
say. Social media and gaming, they play a very important role in mental health, especially related to digital addiction.
Yeah.
Because of social media, हमको पता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी इज अ बून जिसकी वजह से वर्ल्ड हैज बिकम स्मॉल. अभी आज हम और आप इतना अच्छे से thousands of people को रीच कर पा रहे हैं. सो देर आर लॉट ऑफ एडवांटेजेस जिसकी वजह से हम टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हैं.
Right.
बट देन when it starts affecting your mental health, it has also some positive effects on mental health. I would state those first and then go to negative impact. जहाँ
Okay.
पे we have seen that people who are not very confident in speaking in person, धीरे धीरे जब भी वो ऑनलाइन लोगों के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना चालू करते हैं, दे आर मोर कॉन्फिडेंट, दे गेन दैट कॉन्फिडेंस, एंड देन दे their personality actually develops and flourishes.
Wow.
Okay, their confidence increases. So it is not that it is all bad. Okay, there are many positive aspects also of social media, because the way you are doing, you have started this channel for a cause. Just like that, there are many advantages. But apart from that, when it is used excessively, so what happens is, there was a study where there were a few men and women who were given access to Facebook for a particular amount of time, and the other group was not given,
Hmm.
and they had to use Facebook continuously
Okay.
for a few hours. And then at the end of the study, they realized that these people were more depressed, and they were feeling low, and they were feeling anxious
Okay.
compared to the other group. And why
And
is
this
that?
is the group which did not use Facebook.
Did not use. Why is that? Because there is constant comparison between what the people are posting and what your life is. Okay. तो अगर पहले कैसा था कि हम हमारी जो कंपैरिजन थी, आइदर हमारे फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ थी या नेबर्स के साथ थी, नॉट मोर पीपल वी न्यू.
Yeah.
But now the comparison is global. We get access to all the celebrities' accounts. We know their lives, what they do, what they don't do, where they go. So we have all this information, and then because of that we constantly compare our lives with others.
Right.
तो उसमें ऐसा होता है कि हमने एक पोस्ट देख ली, अरे ये तो देखो इधर घूमने गए, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम तो घर पे गए, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग लो। एंड वो एक बार अगर जो ट्रिगर हो गया, वो थॉट कैन टेक यू इन द लूप, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग एंग्शियस, लो, डिप्रेस्ड। there is a lot of increase in anxiety also, especially in teenagers, jahan pe because and especially after after invention of selfies, I'll tell you, because when you take selfie there are a lot of filters available. So what they do is, because I don't like, there is something called as body dysmorphic disorder,
Oh,
especially seen in females, जहाँ पे they are so preoccupied and obsessed with a part of their body or their body in general, कि उनको लगता है कि अच्छा, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई हैव अ डिससेटिस्फेक्शन विथ माई शेप ऑफ द नोज, तो मैं पूरा टाइम सिर्फ उसके उसी के ऊपर सोचती रहूंगी कि अरे मैं मेरे नोज को ठीक
right.
कैसे करूँ। ओके, then whenever they take selfie, they will see to it ke okay, can I make my nose slimmer and bigger,
The
can
way
I
you want
make my
it.
eyes bigger, can I improve my complexion. So what they do is they always post pictures with filters on. जब फिल्टर्स के साथ वो पोस्ट करते हैं पिक्चर्स, दे गेट लॉट ऑफ लाइक्स एंड कमेंट्स, तो उनको बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि वो ओके, इफ आई लुक लाइक दिस,
Hmm.
people will like me more.
Yeah.
But then when they look in the mirror, they realize कि okay, but actually I don't look like this. So अगर मैं ऐसे ही लोगों के सामने गई या गया, तो what will happen? People will realize how, मतलब how do I look really? तो उसकी वजह से there is lot of conflict in their mind, and then they stop socializing,
Yeah.
they go in depression. Or there was one more study where they have they have seen that plastic surgeries have increased a lot in last few years, because people are just not satisfied with the way they look online. Okay, so whatever they want to show, they will actually get it done. They will go under the knife, and they'll change their appearance, and then they'll go. So this is what is seen in
And it
teenagers
never
especially.
ends then. Once it starts, then you always say, oh, maybe I can improve this also. Maybe I can improve
Yeah,
that also. So,
and then you are never satisfied with
that's
the
it.
way you look and the way you are. So they
Yeah.
just don't understand that beauty is not
It's
just a
but skinny.
superficial thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Huh. So when you, and also you don't get that guidance from parents and friends, because you are not so open in communicating these things with your parents and friends. तो उसकी वजह से you are suffering uh, this alone,
Inside, alone. Yeah.
alone. तो उसकी वजह से उनको कोई गाइडेंस नहीं मिलती, एंड देन दे विल फाइंड एनी वे आउट, इट्स लाइक दैट.
Yeah.
So and along with this body dysmorphic disorder, associated anxiety and depression is always there.
Yes.
There is a term called Facebook depression. Okay, so because you are constantly comparing yourself with others, you tend to get depressed more. So these things are there. And
Fear of
दूसरा
missing
एक,
out all the time. People are checking. Maybe
yes,
my friends have gone there. This person has done it. He has watched this video. I have not done it. So fear of missing out is too much on
too
people.
much.
Yeah.
And also along with this, we have seen that their emotional intelligence gets blunted.
Okay.
Okay, because you're constantly online, you don't know how to talk with real people, how to identify their emotions, how to empathize with them, because you are either just gaming, or you are just talking or chatting online.
Yeah.
Chatting may you are not seeing the person आमने सामने, and you don't know how they react,
Right.
how you are supposed to react. So ये सब जो चीजें हैं वो फाइनली मेंटल हेल्थ को अफेक्ट करती है. एंड ऑल्सो वी हैव सीन के नॉट ओनली डिजिटल एडिक्शन अफेक्ट्स मेंटल हेल्थ, but sometimes if you already have some mental health issues like depression or anxiety or other things, you tend to use these platforms more to escape from your feelings. Okay, so just because you don't want to address your low feeling, you don't want to address your depressed feeling, why are you feeling a particular thing, you try to escape from this and then use digital platforms. So it's both ways.
I know. It's like you said, you can't manage your anger, you can't manage your
Yes.
relationships, you can't manage your own time. So many uh,
Many things.
effect, yes, manifestations on your life. And there are people having suicidal thoughts also because of this.
Yes.
Like they don't feel that they are okay compared to other people. So this syndrome of you're okay, I'm not okay,
I am
becomes
not okay.
very heightened,
Yes.
and people do that also. So now we move on to the, like, we also see that people who are addicted digitally, they become victims of cybercrime. Like you said, I was in Twitter from the year 2008,
Hmm.
but after Sushant Singh Rajput passed away, then I became very active on Twitter. And by the time, from 2008 to 2020, probably I had hardly 15 tweets.
Hmm.
But now I crossed more than 5,000 tweets because you are fighting for a cause.
Cause, yes.
And then there are people who are all the time on it and they're also fighting for the cause. And then there is ego hassle. And then
Yeah.
you find that there are people who are trolling them, troubling them. So there
Hmm.
is a lot of harassment, cyberbullying take place.
Yes.
So how does digital addiction lead to cyberbullying? What are the different forms of cyberbullying, and how does it happen?
Yeah. So basically, any addiction, or if you are doing things in excess, it will lead to some or the other problem. If, as I told you, if you are very sensitive towards the way people talk to you, or they tell you about your appearance, these people who are more sensitive will get bullied more. Usually we have seen that even in real life. If you see, only people who are more emotionally sensitive, and they will get bullied more. um, कैसा होता है कि साइबर बुलिंग में देर आर लाइक वेरियस टाइप्स, जहाँ पे ट्रोलिंग इज वेरी कॉमनली नोन, जहाँ सबको ही पता है कि ट्रोलिंग, बट
Correct.
ट्रोलिंग अभी इतना कॉमन हो गया है कि पीपल फील दैट इट इज कम्प्लीटली नॉर्मल, विच इज नॉट.
Not
ओके.
normal. Exactly.
हाँ,
Yeah.
विच इज नॉट नॉर्मल. एंड कभी कभी कैसा होता है, बिकॉज एक पूरी पूरी सोसाइटी एक चीज अगर फॉलो करना चालू कर देती है या कुछ करने लगती है, तो देन इट बिकम्स अ नॉर्म, और इट बिकम्स नॉर्मल फॉर अदर पीपल. बट साइबर बुलिंग इज नॉट नॉर्मल,
Absolutely.
बिकॉज जब भी कोई किसी को बुली करता है, तो उसका इफेक्ट वो पर्सन पे क्या होता है, दे डोंट थिंक अबाउट दैट. देर
Correct.
इज समथिंग
They only look at
साइबर बुलिंग.
themselves. What is the satisfaction they are getting out of it?
या.
They have
सो
scored a
बुलीज.
point. That's it.
सो बुलीज जो होते हैं, आइदर दे आर वेरी कावर्ड, कि उनको ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज इन रियल लाइफ दे कैन नॉट टेल दीज थिंग्स,
Face
सो
it.
दे विल
No.
ये स्क्रीन का सहारा लेके लेके वो लोग बोलते हैं या लिखते हैं. आइदर दे आर वेरी, दे आर दे वांट पावर, कि वो पावर चाहिए रहता है, कि सो दैट एवरीवन शुड फील दैट ओके आई एम पावरफुल एंड दे should respect me, like that. Or they have some, most of the times it is done to take revenge, or if they feel that there is some threat, and then they will react in such a way that they'll bully other person. Or there are some past childhood traumas where the life only was like that, and because of that they become bully.
Yeah.
So this particular bullying, not only, sometimes it not only gets restricted to online, but also transfers in offline, like in real life also.
Okay.
Then there is something called cyber stalking, you must be knowing.
Yeah.
जहाँ पे जैसे पहले लोग फिजिकली स्टॉकिंग करते थे, वैसे ऑनलाइन स्टॉक करते थे, कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई एम स्टॉकिंग यू, वॉट एवर यू पोस्ट, आई विल keep an eye on that, and wherever you go I will try to get that information. So cyber stalking is done. Then there is something called as claiming, where जानबूझ के आप इन्फ्लेमेटरी मैसेजेस और कमेंट्स डालो. फिर ट्रोलिंग जैसे मैंने बताया. देन देर इज एक्सक्लूजन, वेयर जानबूझ के एक ग्रुप में आप किसी को एक्सक्लूड कर दो, जैसे हम रियल लाइफ में करते
Cancel.
हैं सब लोग
Cancel
ग्रुप ऑफ
culture.
फ्रेंड्स में, वैसा सेम ऑनलाइन भी हो सकता है, चैट रूम्स में होता है.
Yeah.
देन देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज, मतलब जहाँ पे दे एक्चुअली सेंड मैसेजेस एंड ईमेल्स टू एक्चुअली ruin the reputation of the person. तो without even knowledge of that person they will start telling things about that person.
Yes.
बहुत सारी जगह पे ऐसा देखा गया है कि किसी के फोटोज अगर पोस्ट हुए हैं तो उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लोग लेके कहीं वापस से दूसरे सोशल मीडिया पे डाल के उसके ऊपर लोग जोक कर रहे हैं. So and sometimes these things are done very jokingly, and they don't understand the impact of that. But then जिसके साथ ये होता है, it affects them a lot. So either they go in depression, they get very anxious, they isolate themselves, they will stop going to schools or colleges or for work. And then उसकी वजह से दे विल ऑल्सो, इट ऑल्सो स्टार्ट्स अफेक्टिंग देयर फिजिकल हेल्थ, जहाँ पे दे माइट बी प्रोन टू ईटिंग डिसऑर्डर्स
Wow.
और obesity, or they lose weight because there will, and obviously sleeplessness. तो ये सारी चीजें उनको अफेक्ट करती हैं, एंड समटाइम्स दीज पीपल ऑल्सो गेट एडिक्टेड टू अदर सब्सटेंसेस.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, so this is how it affects other people,
One thing
and
leads
people
to the
have
other.
also, yeah, and people have also committed suicide because of cyberbullying. Okay, there are many cases. If you just go and Google it, you will come to know there are so many cases in which just because of cyberbullying. Because अगर स्कूल में या कॉलेज के कैंपस में बुलिंग होता है तो वो एक लिमिटेड लोगों के बीच में होता है. If it happens online, it is in front of thousands of people and lakhs of people. So people cannot overcome that कि अच्छा मैं अभी ये मेरा how will I overcome this अगर मेरे साथ ये हुआ है तो.
Hmm.
And when in this scenario they don't approach any elder or parents, or when they don't get the guidance, it actually ruins their life.
Very true.
Okay. And so it is very important for even parents to know that these things happen online. और ये सब के बारे में अवेयर करना बच्चों को इतना जरूरी है. एंड वेन एवर समथिंग लाइक दिस हैपेंस, द कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन पेरेंट एंड अ चाइल्ड शुड बी सो ट्रांसपेरेंट दैट child should not be afraid of sharing these things with parents.
Absolutely. But the tendency is sometimes many parents tend to blame the child. तुमने कुछ किया होगा. So
Exactly, yeah.
encourage the child to talk instead of jumping into a judgment. That
Conclusion,
would
yes.
help. So I think that cyberbullying is repeated intentional use of
Yes.
digital technology to target another person. And
Yes.
it can be threat, it can be harassment, it can be public humiliation, like what you said.
Anything, yes.
And cyber bullies appear in social media. They can they come in apps, forums, gamings, if,
Yes.
during gaming and all that. And then even personal cyber bullies whom you know well, they can also send through text, WhatsApp, emails.
Yes.
they
Emails.
they also harass you. And even friends, and you do not know how to stop. Because so why does cyberbullying happen? Why does a person become different when he's sitting in front of a computer or in front of in using a cell phone? And why is he different when he is facing you? Actually, he doesn't say that when you actually meet him. They seems to be a very straightforward. The moment you meet him, they'll say, "Jane do yaar, likh diya."
हाँ.
If you ask them, confront them, that is how they talk. And again, they'll go back and do the same thing again. So
Yeah.
what do you do about that? Why do they behave differently online? कुछ psychological ये है क्या?
हाँ.
How
So there is something called as online disinhibition effect. Okay.
online?
So
What is
online disinhibition.
it? Okay.
हाँ.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
कैसा होता है कि when you are talking, जब भी आप किसी के साथ आमने सामने बात कर रहे हो, there are many things our brain filters, and अपना एक societal pressure होता है कि जिसकी वजह से you will not say whatever comes to your mind.
Correct.
There is some
Like you
inhibition.
say, like alcohol, they that also doesn't function. People who are very shy, when they take alcohol, they begin to talk whatever is there in their head.
हाँ. Yeah.
So maybe this is also another thing.
या
Amazing.
सो
Yeah.
ऐसा है कि बहुत सारी चीजें बिकॉज हमको पता नहीं है कि सामने वाला कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा. समझो अगर मैं आप पे बहुत गुस्सा हूँ, बट इफ आई से एनीथिंग एंड अब्यूज यू, विल यू टेक इट? नो, you will react and you will retaliate, right?
Yeah.
And then it can turn into a fight, or anything can happen. Even I can get harmed. Okay, I can get hurt. But अगर यही चीज अगर ऑनलाइन करनी है, अगर
Hmm.
मुझे आपने जो कुछ वीडियो डाला है उसके ऊपर अगर मुझे अब्यूजिव कमेंट्स डालने हैं, एंड
Right.
इफ आई जस्ट अब्यूज इन कमेंट्स, व्हाट
Yeah.
विल यू बी एबल टू डू?
Correct. Yeah.
ओके,
Nothing
बिकॉज
we cannot
बिकॉज आई
run
गेट,
away from it, right? It is there.
या
Right
एंड
there.
यूजुअली दीज पीपल आप जो बोल रहे हो ना, ये जो स्पेशली दीज साइबर बुलीज जो होते हैं, वो हमेशा यूजुअली फेक प्रोफाइल यूज करते हैं. तो यू विल नेवर नो द रियल नेम.
Right.
Okay, मेरा नाम कृति है, but I will, create a completely fake profile, and then I will start posting on someone's social media account or videos. Okay, तो
Correct.
कभी कभी हम पकड़ भी नहीं पाते हैं उनको कि एग्जैक्टली ये ओरिजिनल पर्सन कौन है. So they usually change their names, change their profiles, they change, make a fake profile, and then they'll start posting it.
So indirectly they
Online
are actually
disinhibition.
cowards, like you said.
Huh. So online disinhibition means because of the filter of a screen, there are no inhibitions. So you can do whatever you want. So sometimes offline जो real self होती है वो completely different होती है, and online the way they behave is completely different because there are no inhibitions, because
Correct.
people can't see them, because people don't know their identity. Okay, there was also a study which was done on this, जहाँ पे एक मेडिकल कॉलेज में दे सेग्रीगेटेड अ ग्रुप, जहाँ पे एक थोड़े लोगों को उनको हुडी पहना के, उनका
Hmm.
नेम प्लेट नहीं लगा के, कंप्लीटली उनकी
Free.
आइडेंटिटी हाइड करके उनको बोला कि ये पर्सन जो इधर चेयर में बैठा है उसको शॉक दो, इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक. Obviously,
Okay.
like a little amount of shock. This was an experiment.
Hmm.
एंड देन देर वर अदर पीपल जहाँ पे उनको व्हाइट लैब कोट में उनका नाम का साइन लगा के,
Yeah.
चेहरा ओपन रख के अगर उनको सेम चीज करनी थी, तो देर वर मोर पीपल जिनकी आइडेंटिटी हिडन थी, दे कुड डू इट इजीली बिकॉज दे रियलाइज
Easy.
ओके
Yeah.
द अदर पर्सन इज नॉट एबल टू सी देम, सो आई कैन डू इट. Okay, so this is how it gets translated online. So
Wow.
this is
You
how
remind me
digital.
of of an article, I think, by A.G. Gardner. He talks about keyhole morals. वो बोलते हैं कि कोई दरवाजे का वो चाबी का द्वार से आपको नहीं देख रहा है, तो
देख रहा है,
आप
हाँ.
उनके अंदर क्या करते हो? Correct? So you know कि nobody is seeing, then you are free. Are you
Free.
doing things which you would not like others to see? This is
Yes.
what you need to ask yourself all the time. तो you said it so right. तो कोई पकड़ेंगे नहीं तो हम क्या क्या करने के लिए उतर जाते, right? You
Yes.
need to get ready to do that, to hurt somebody or to create do something. You may know that it may not hurt, but would you do it really in your
Yeah.
idea with your identity? नहीं शायद,
हाँ.
right? You will hesitate.
Yeah.
Absolutely, such a beautiful experiment, and I did not know where did they do this experiment.
So I don't know exactly where did this happen, but I think we'll get on Google.
Yeah,
This was a
online. Okay,
research which was
found.
done.
Okay, okay. Excellent. And also, I came to know that through the digital space, a lot of sexual exploitation is also taking place.
Yes,
Like we
yes.
saw recently, a known person only, he asked somebody to say, share video of hers and then video of her friends taking bath, and then entire university was closed down. So, what exactly, how does it take place? Other forms also, if you know.
Yeah. So basically, sextortion means usually they do it for either getting sexual favors from someone or for money. Usually the motive is money. आपने
Mm.
अगर देखा होगा तो I think एक 2 days back India Today had this sting operation, and उसमें उन्होंने एक राजस्थान में they actually caught one sextortionist.
Okay.
He had created a fake profile, and what he used to do was he used to just message people on WhatsApp,
Mm.
और फिर उनका ट्रस्ट गेन करके उसके साथ चैट करके देन ही वुड बिल्ड अ रिलेशनशिप, एंड देन ही वुड से कि अच्छा मुझे आपका कोई न्यूड फोटो भेजो या फिर वीडियो भेजो, एंड देन वंस अ पर्सन हु इज वल्नरेबल एंड दे ट्रस्ट दैट पर्सन, एंड जब ये रिलेशनशिप में वो ये सब शेयर करते हैं, then
Mm.
what they do is they will use those photos and videos, and then they will blackmail them कि अगर तुमने हमको इस ये मनी ट्रांसफर ये अमाउंट ट्रांसफर नहीं किया तो वी विल
Yeah,
लीक
your
दीज
video.
images and videos online to your social media account or either to your wife or to your family.
Yeah.
So ऐसे धमकी दे के वो लोग ये मनी जो भी है पैसे लेते हैं. So there are a lot of ways in which sextortion can be done, and people are just coming up with new ways. दूसरा चीज ये है कि आई थिंक रिसेंटली देर वॉज वन scam which was going on, and I had heard a lot of cases of that particular scam where
Mm.
you get a WhatsApp video call from someone. There
Mm.
is always a
Yeah.
DP of a beautiful lady on that number. So usually they used to target males. हाँ, तो if someone sees कि अच्छा ये कौन मुझे call कर रहा है, so they will pick up the call. Once they pick up the call, the opposite person, obviously face is not seen, but the opposite person is completely nude.
Oh God.
So, but when their face is not seen, but when you have picked up the video call, your face is seen on the screen. So what they do is they capture the image, they take a screenshot, and then they will send a WhatsApp message ki we have caught you seeing me
Hmm.
like this, and then अगर आपने हमको ये अमाउंट ट्रांसफर नहीं किया तो हम आपके सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट पे ये चीज लीक कर देंगे, या फ्रेंड्स को या रिलेटिव्स को या किसी को भी भेज देंगे.
In Varun Kapur.
Teenagers, yeah, a lot of teenagers also got affected because of this. Hello. Girijaa ji, are you there? I think there is some technical problem. Um yeah, so I was talking that because of this, many teenagers also got affected, and some tried to steal from their homes, from their parents, and उनको नहीं बता के, because they were so ashamed, they thought that if they talk with their parents, तो parents उनको ही blame करेंगे कि तुमने ही कुछ किया होगा. But then that is not the case, because in these cases children are not to be blamed, because these people are always online. They try to catch these people, and they always are in search of such vulnerable boys and girls, or even adults, and even old age groups, जहाँ पे उनको लगता है कि अगर ये vulnerable है तो इसको हम कैसे उनके पास से कुछ पैसे या अपना जो भी फेवर है वो हम कैसे ले सकते हैं. So this is how sextortion is done, and there are many other ways. If you just want to have a little more information, you can just go online and actually read about it, how these sextortion scams are done. And there are many different ways in which the people do this. Even spam emails and मैसेजेस के थ्रू भी ये हो सकता है, जहाँ पे यू जस्ट गेट एन ईमेल कि अच्छा हमने आपका कैमरा हैक किया था, एंड वी हैव सीन some intimate images of yours or video of yours, and then they will start using it
Okay.
and blackmail you.
In between, I was out, but you continued, right?
Yes, I continue.
Okay.
So
I
I
was
finished
not
with the
able to.
extortion part. Yeah.
Okay, that was very nice. So you talked about how people are extorted, they extort money through this, right?
Yes.
Yes. So that is very nice. I think the host, okay, he also disappeared. He came and then he disappeared. Let him come again and then we can include him.
Okay.
For a minute, I could not see him because I myself was thrown out of the link.
Yes.
So, but you continued. That was very nice. I'm thinking, oh, from your side also it is gone. That's what it was showing here. So
Okay.
I just was. Thank you so much for continuing. So now you find that bullying takes place in all different ways, and this is a finance money extortion is also one uh, strong way in which people, and many people are ashamed to tell this to their family. They're afraid to tell this to their family. They don't face it straight away. They don't report to the police because they're afraid that people will believe that they have looked into those sites, and so they give in to those extortionists and they keep on giving money and they become.
Yeah, and this is also done in relationships. This is very common, where for example, if I am in a relationship with someone,
Mm.
till the relationship lasts, sometimes आजकल because इतना common हो गया है, sexting and sending your photos to the opposite person, intimate photos and videos. When they are sharing their intimate moments, they take videos. I don't know what they enjoy, but then these videos and these photos and then haunt them, because once the relationship is over, समझो for whatever reason,
Right.
if the opposite person is not a decent one, तो क्या होता है कि वो वही इमेजेस और वीडियोस को लेकर लड़की को या इवन इन सम केसेस इवन लड़की लड़के को ब्लैकमेल करती है कि आई विल लीक दीज इमेजेस एंड आई विल शो टू योर फैमिली एंड ऑल, एंड देन आइदर दे डू दिस फॉर सेक्सुअल फेवर और कंटिन्यूइंग द रिलेशनशिप धमकी देकर, या फिर उनको पैसे चाहिए रहते हैं. This
Exactly.
is also very common in our society. So I would just tell people, especially children, never ever, आपको कितना भी भरोसा हो अपने पार्टनर पे, कितना भी भरोसा हो, आंख बंद करके अगर भरोसा करते हो, फिर भी कभी भी अपने इंटीमेट इमेजेस या वीडियोस कभी भी शेयर नहीं करने चाहिए. यू शुड नेवर डू इट. हमेशा ऐसा सोचना चाहिए कि अगर आगे जाके समझो गॉड फॉरबिड कुछ भी होता है, तो अगर ये चीज मेरे अगेंस्ट यूज की जा सकती है या नहीं.
या रिसेंटली अभी एक केस हुआ है, वैशाली टक्कर करके, इंदौर से है. उनको शी हैड अ रिलेशनशिप विद सम नेबर, दैट्स व्हाट इट हैज कम आउट एज ऑफ नाउ.
अच्छा,
And then after the relationship soured, like you said, her wedding was fixed with two other people, and to both the people he went on sending her videos and other
yeah.
things, and so the relationship, the engagement broke down. And now they are saying that she committed suicide, or we do not know what exactly happened.
Mhm.
But this is proven that that has happened, and so the marriage relationship engagements broke
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah,
That
and
is
many people commit suicide just the way you mentioned, because then they go in depression and they are like, okay, abhi mere life mein rakha hi kya hai. So
correct.
and they can't even approach their parents or elders,
Yeah.
or police authority.
But here the
So
girl was well to do, and the parents also probably knew about it because it was their own partner's
yeah,
son, and he was a neighbor. So that is why there is a question: would she have committed suicide because of her
suicide.
other social
Yeah,
media images and other things? That is another question. So now, in the light of all this, we know that digital media has become a necessary evil.
yeah,
The genie has come out of the bottle. We cannot put it back now. We need, but how to control that genie? So we know that, like you said, there are own advantages. It does build people's reading habits. People share more. They become more confident, etc., etc. And it is instant connectivity. That is the greatest benefit. So
yes,
you are suffering somewhere from, Twitter. You say that I am caught here, and then somebody else immediately
yes,
comes
can
to
help you.
save you.
It's
That
so
also
powerful.
happens. Yes, my sister was traveling in the train and there was some problem, and then immediately we put it, and the next station somebody came and rectified the washroom.
Yeah,
So that is the kind of power that is there. But at the same time, we do not know how to. We use this digital media, but we do not know how exactly to control when it becomes something which is harassment for you. So that is actually, I think, digital literacy, not just using it, but knowing how to use it. Like you told me that we have to use we have to use the night mode. I did not know about it, and I'm thinking, oh God, I'm very good at digital media. No, I'm not. So this is some new knowledge that I gained today. So what is exactly digital literacy? How can you spread that?
yeah. So digital literacy is the way you said. It is just not how to use it, or just being literate about how things work
Yeah, you become
and
very
how should
popular
you
and
use
all
it.
that is not. Yes, enough.
Yeah, it is not just that, but
Yeah.
it is also about how to use it responsibly, appropriately, and mindfully. Okay, and also there is something called as online safety. There are a lot, these companies, software companies, are also making a lot of effort in providing this literacy to even children and adults.
Hmm.
Recently, I think in lockdown only, uh, Google had actually made a video game on
Okay.
this particular subject for children.
Okay.
Okay, so there it's a वहाँ पे they teach children how to set strong passwords, कि
Wow.
अगर आपने स्ट्रॉन्ग पासवर्ड नहीं रखा तो व्हाट विल हैपन टू योर ईमेल्स, और व्हाट विल हैपन टू योर फोटोज, और व्हाट विल हैपन टू योर इन्फॉर्मेशन, योर डेटा. ओके, so then while playing game, the child will realize कि okay, I have to set a password which should have a capital letter, which should also have small letters, which should also have a symbol, and then it should also have numbers. Okay, so only when you use all four characteristics, then the password is strong, and only then you can move ahead in the game
Game.
to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay, just like that, how to be kind online, how to communicate when you are online or when you are on social media, कि लोगों को कैसे आपको encourage करना चाहिए, how to use kind words rather than abuse and troll and use inflammatory languages, और
Wow.
उसकी वजह से लोगों पे क्या इफेक्ट होता है. So through a game it was depicted so beautifully. Okay, this
Wow.
was a kind of digital literacy Google had planned and Google had actually made. Okay, I think
Okay.
that was only for a day, but I happened to access it and I actually played that game till the end,
Wow.
just to know what they have prepared and what they have made. It
Now is
was
it
wonderful.
not online?
I don't know. I have the link. I'll share it with you because
Yeah,
I had saved it at that time, because I thought
definitely.
if someone wants it, I can share that link. So
Yeah.
so it is not only, as I told you, it is not only how to use,
Hmm.
but also how to be kind online, how to be safe online. क्या क्या आपके डेटा को, क्या डेटा प्राइवेसी आपको क्या क्या शेयर करना चाहिए, क्या क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज प्राइवेसी की डेफिनेशन सबकी अलग अलग होती है. What I
Correct.
would consider private, you might not consider it private. Okay, so
Yeah.
सबकी जो डेफिनेशन है वो अलग अलग होती है, पर कोई कोई चीजें ऐसी होती है विच यू शुड नॉट शेयर. तो
Yeah.
वो जो बाउंड्री है वो उनको सिखाना जरूरी है. उनको सिखाना जरूरी है कि हाउ टू कम्युनिकेट ऑनलाइन, ये
Hmm.
पासवर्ड्स और ये सब जो है वो कैसे स्ट्रांग रखना है. अगर
Correct.
कोई भी ऐसा मालवेयर या स्पाईवेयर वाला ईमेल आता है या फिशिंग ईमेल आता है, तो कैसे उसको आइडेंटिफाई करके उसको रिप्लाई नहीं करना है, उसके ऊपर क्लिक नहीं करना है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स, मेकिंग देम अवेयर अबाउट ऑल द साइबर थ्रेट्स, making them aware about online safety. When you go online, these are the threats which you can encounter, और उसमें से क्या क्या precautions लेने हैं, and साथ में how to use this responsibly. So this whole thing consists of digital literacy,
Yeah.
and I really feel
Hmm.
that now this should be a curriculum in the schools,
One
because
person had suggested also here that
yeah,
why can't it be a curriculum in the school?
yeah,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
only if it is taught in schools it will
Yes.
apply and it will get
Mehul
implemented.
Vyas has written. It's
Yes,
time
he
to
is
have
my
this
colleague
subject
from
taught.
Rotary. Yes. Huh.
Yes. Yeah. Dr. Neelam Gada is also here. She is also a very practical talk and need of the hour she has written. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the digital literacy is about being aware how to use responsibly, mindfully. Absolutely, you said it. And what are the various limits that we need to? What are the absolute don'ts we must
Don'ts.
be aware of?
Yes.
Very true. Very true. So I also understand that you have created what is known as a three-step program. You have developed to
Yes.
combat addiction. Can you describe that?
Yeah. It consists of the, so in Rotary our program is called Logout. Okay, so
Yeah.
basically it is the initiative of Dr. Ananya, who is my colleague, and I. We have a company called Log Inwards, and through that, obviously the program was already designed and we are also implementing through Logout, Rotary, in the form of Logout, where
Okay.
so it's a three-step process. When I actually, when we actually saw that digital de-addiction के लिए there is no complete ecosystem available, कि bits and parts में सब लोग कर रहे हैं, but कहीं पे पूरा मतलब end to end solution नहीं है.
Correct.
So what we have developed is, first is we do assessment. So जहाँ पे भी हम schools या colleges में जाते हैं, we screen all the children. तो
Okay.
already internationally validated tests है जो हम उनको देते हैं in the form of Google form. So
Mm.
they take the test, and then we, from the score we come to know how many children are not addicted, who fall under mild addiction, moderate, and then severe. So
Mm.
what we do is we share this analysis with the schools and colleges. Not only schools and colleges, this can be done for societies and for housing societies also, and for many people, because
Also, you
it,
can do
it
it.
applies to adults also, and it can be used for corporates also.
But I have a
So
question here. When you're sharing with the school or the parents, do you tell the names of the people who are seriously affected, or you say this much percentage is seriously affected, this much where?
So when
What?
we share it with the school, obviously they should have the analysis completely, like with class, division, and name of the student. But
Okay.
we don't share it like to openly to
Public.
public. We just share with the authority of the school.
So that they
Then
can
they
take
will
action,
identify those
preventive
students. Yeah.
action.
Huh.
Yeah.
So then once the analysis is done, we take so this is first step where we assess students. Second is prevention or basically making them aware about all these things. So just like we are talking, we take awareness sessions for students. We also take awareness sessions for parents, because until and unless parents also understand, children will not understand. Sometimes children come and tell us, मैडम ये प्लीज हमारे पेरेंट्स के लिए लो, बिकॉज हमारे पेरेंट्स ही एडिक्टेड है.
I know. It is
Yeah.
the,
So
this
recently I had
internet
taken.
has burst on the scene suddenly, and many people are not prepared for it. And for them, it is like, oh, I'm able to get everything
Yes.
on the
So
tip of.
recently, we had taken an awareness session in Badlapur here in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and one student came and he asked me, मैडम आपने ये हमारा सेशन सेम ऐसा सेम पेरेंट्स के लिए भी लिया है ना? मैंने बोला यस यस वी टू. तो इज लाइक हाँ, क्योंकि मैडम मैं तो इतना फोन यूज नहीं करता है, बट मेरे मम्मी पापा बहुत यूज करते हैं. सो देन ही इज लाइक आई होप दे गेट benefited. And then we also so we take awareness session for parents, and we also train teachers to identify if any student is falling or under these addictions, or they are facing any problems. So why we do this is we should have a 360-degree support system for children. So just अगर हमने सिर्फ बच्चों को अगर अवेयर किया और अगर पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स को नहीं किया, तो इट विल नॉट वर्क वेरी वेल. So that's why we take awareness sessions for children, parents, as well as teachers. Third step is intervention. In intervention, there are two types of interventions, where once we have analyzed these group of students, and we know that these students are either moderately affected or severely affected, then we plan group therapy sessions for them. So these student स्कूल्स ही अरेंज करके देती है, या फिर अगर इट इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट, वहाँ पे वी कैन टेक अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल who are addicted, and then we take a few sessions and we treat them. Also, after completing the group therapy session, we do post test, कि जिसमें हम कंपेयर करते हैं कि पहले जो टेस्ट ली थी और जो बाद में टेस्ट ली है उसमें कुछ डिफरेंस है कि नहीं, एंड देन वी सी एंड वी कंपेयर द टेस्ट. And then the final one is individual counseling or one-to-one counseling session, where if we find that group therapy is not working for some people, or if they don't want to opt for group therapy and they directly want to go for one-to-one counseling, or they are having much deeper psychological issues, then we tell them to go for one-to-one counseling sessions. So this is how our 3-step program works in terms of digital de-addiction. I think Girijaa ji has left the room again.
Hello, Dr. Kruti.
Hello.
How are you? Looks like
I'm
आज गिरिजा जी का थोड़ा network का issue लग रहा है.
yes.
So I think she got disconnected. So thank you and welcome to this platform for the very first time.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for inviting me and giving this opportunity.
no, my pleasure. And I was listening in bits and pieces. I don't know. I'm sure गिरिजा जी ने बताया होगा. I'm not based out of India, तो मेरा अभी morning का almost 12:19 p.m.
Yes.
But सबसे पहले तो happy Dhanteras and happy Diwali to you.
Yes. Same to you.
All right, and very very important topic. I was talking to मैं बात कर रहा था गिरिजा जी से last time. ये जो digital एक wellness है, I think this is a bigger problem than any other physical or mental problem, because this can actually lead to a lot of other disastrous kind of circumstances. और लास्ट के 2 साल में जब से मैं सोशल मीडिया पे ज़्यादा एक्टिव हुआ हूँ, एक्टिव तो मैं बहुत था, बट I think I've seen how it has taken a toll on the physical health, mental health, and whatnot. And then on a grand level, yeah, higher level pay, how it impacts our families, friends, and the
Yes.
entire circle. So this was really very important to be discussed. And I see Girija ji here as well. I think unka network is fixed. Hello, namaste Girija ji.
Yeah, I joined through the cell phone because I
Okay,
couldn't. Something is happening; it's snapping all the time. So I came through the guest mode.
oh
I
wow, yeah,
joined like that. Yes.
got
So
it.
it was a wonderful discussion, and this has never happened twice. Today we moved out. I moved out, and I know that you have a very bad headache, and still you joined. Thank you so much, Varun.
No, no,
Without you,
absolutely.
this wouldn't have been possible. But then I know we are reaching out to a lot of people, and we are getting very good responses. So it is very necessary intervention that we have started, and
Yeah,
I'm sure that this is going to have a long term impact, right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So she was. Did you complete about your the talk about digital literacy?
Three-step program.
Yeah, the three-step program. You completed that. Okay, okay. So the most important thing that we wanted to also discuss is how people need to realize, like you said, don't share photographs and videos personal with people, because digital footprints are there for everyone all the time. So can you explain that so that people are more careful when it comes from an expert? People will be serious. Otherwise,
Yeah.
okay, my boyfriend is asking, my husband is asking, so it's okay, or my wife is asking, and then you may do it, right, in
Yeah.
a spur of a moment.
Yes. So online footprints are, always there. So once you have posted something or once you have shared something, it will always stay online.
Yeah.
So even if you change your numbers, even if you, delete from your system, but it will always stay online. It is going to be there. So even if you feel and you have this false security that it has completely gone out of my system and it is not available, but then experts can actually just go a little deeper and find those things out. So you that's why you have to be very careful about what you do online, what you share online. You have to ask yourself twice before doing this. An experiment which uh, they had done, जहाँ पे जस्ट अ लिटिल प्रॉम्प्टर फ्रॉम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, कि अगर आपने कुछ अब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज यूज की है या फिर यू आर शेयरिंग सम अच्छे फोटोज या कुछ शेयर नहीं कर रहे हो, दे विल कैच दोज images or videos and words, and then they will ask you, are you sure you want to put this online? And just doing this, उसकी वजह से पोस्टिंग बहुत ड्रास्टिकली कम हो गया था, बिकॉज व्हेन यू एक्चुअली आस्क क्वेश्चंस टू पीपल, दे विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इट एंड बिफोर पोस्टिंग समथिंग अनइंटेंशनली, या फिर जस्ट आउट ऑफ इम्पल्स समटाइम्स यू डू इट. सो these small things help.
Close a conversation. Can you just unmute, please? Yeah. Before, I would just like to ask you, what are some practical tips that you can give us so that we can limit our screen time?
Yeah. So one thing which works very well for people is just switching off your notification tone. Okay. तो अगर आपको फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूट्यूब से बहुत ज़्यादा नोटिफिकेशंस आ रहे हैं, या फिर आपको जीमेल से बहुत नोटिफिकेशंस आ रहे हैं, या फिर कोई इंस्टाग्राम या कोई सोशल मीडिया ऐप से नोटिफिकेशन, यू जस्ट हैव टू गो ऑन नोटिफिकेशन सेटिंग और वो सारे एप्स के नोटिफिकेशंस आपको बंद करने हैं. सो रादर देन योर फोन गाइडिंग यू कि आप मुझे पिक करो बिकॉज नोटिफिकेशन आया है, रादर देन दैट ओनली व्हेन यू गेट टाइम you pick up your phone and you see those apps only when you require and only when you want. So rather than becoming slave to what your phone does for you, and AI and ML, आपने अगर social dilemma देखा है अगर Netflix पे, it explains and it beautifully कि how these machines can actually learn how your psyche is, how you choose some things, and they will constantly want कि आप वो ऐप पे आओ. Okay, so they will, if you are not there for a particular amount of time, they will throw something at you so that you go on that app. So you just have to switch off your notification tone for those particular apps. Then there is something also called as focus mode or zen mode in your phone. Okay, so आप वहां पे जाओ और देखो, आपको पता चलेगा कि आपके जो वर्किंग आवर्स है, या फिर आपको जब भी चाहिए कि डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब मोड, कि दे शुड नॉट, मतलब दीज एप्स शुड नॉट सेंड मी एनी नोटिफिकेशंस, और आई शुड नॉट गेट कॉल्स, वॉट एवर यू हैव टू डिसाइड एक्चुअली कि आपको क्या अलाउ करना है और क्या नहीं करना है. यू कैन एक्चुअली सेट अ टाइमर एंड सेट कि उसमें कौन से एप्स में आप एप्स को आपको अलाउ करना है और किसको नहीं करना है. एंड देन यू कैन सेट योर ओन लिमिट्स on your phone. Your phone also has something called as digital well-being or your screen time tracker, जो
Okay.
आपको बताएगा कि आप कितने टाइम आपका फोन यूज करते हो, एंड कौन से ऐप पे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करते हो. इफ यू डोंट हैव दिस इनबिल्ट, यू कैन ऑल्सो डाउनलोड इट फ्रॉम प्ले स्टोर एंड यू कैन ट्रैक योर स्क्रीन टाइम, एंड देन
Wow.
बी अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट यू आर डूइंग.
Right.
वंस दिस इज डन, ऑब्वियसली सिर्फ ये देखना नहीं है, बट वंस यू नो दैट ओके, व्हेन यू आर अवेयर कि मेरा स्क्रीन टाइम ज्यादा है, इवन दोज एप्स, फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, यूट्यूब, सारे ही एप्स है जो आप अगर उसके सेटिंग में जाके देखोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि वहां पे भी देयर इज स्क्रीन टाइम ट्रैकर और
Okay.
ऐप टाइम ट्रैकर, जहाँ
Yeah.
पे यू कैन एक्चुअली सी कि आप कौन से भी अकाउंट से अगर लॉग इन किए हो. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई हैव लॉग्ड इन फ्रॉम माई अकाउंट फ्रॉम माई फोन एंड ऑल्सो माई लैपटॉप,
Yeah.
फ्रॉम यूट्यूब आई विल ऑल्सो गेट अ कंप्लीट डेटा कि कहाँ से
Correct.
मैंने कितना यूज किया है.
Right.
ओके, यू कैन ऑल्सो सेट नाइट मोड, जहाँ पे स्लीप मोड कि आप 11 बजे के बाद मुझे यूज नहीं करना है, दे विल प्रॉम्प्ट यू. ओके, सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर अवेलेबल इन योर फोन, बट वी डोंट नो दैट. ओके,
Yeah.
these things we can do. We have to so I always say कि you have to remember traffic signal, जहाँ पे red means pause and be aware about what you are doing. Then reflect कि अच्छा मैं इसको change करने के लिए क्या कर सकती हूँ या क्या कर सकता हूँ.
Right.
Make a different habit calendar, जहाँ जहाँ पे आप time waste ज्यादा कर रहे हो online, जहाँ पे productive नहीं है,
Right.
so then you can replace it with some other habit, because जब तक आप वो habits को replace नहीं करोगे तब तक it will not work for you. And then
Yeah.
last is green light, so जहाँ पे you take action. So once you have devised a plan, you start taking actions.
Right.
Some general tips which you can manage in your home is you can keep a no screen zone, no gadget zone, जहाँ पे सारे तुम gadgets deposit कर दो bedroom में. Rules, you can make rules in the house as a family कि हम इतने बजे के बाद phone use नहीं करेंगे. Spend more family time so that no screen time. Go for vacations or do detox. एक वीक में एटलीस्ट एक few hours के लिए या एक या 2 दिन के लिए you can practice detox. So
Yeah.
all these things you can practice on your own, but when obviously you are not able to do it, you have to consult an expert.
Absolutely. I think we touched upon the very important points and you explained it so beautifully. I'm so indebted to you for this. And I'm sure that viewers also are enjoying the show. And there are a lot of people who have written very good comments about it. And I'm sure that you will be available if your viewers have any questions. So we can
Yes.
close this because there are no more questions coming up.
Yes.
So let me close with a poem by somebody called as Barry Van Hagen, which was published some 5 years back. And he talks about how cybercrime is haunting young people. So he says, cybercrime is haunting young people all the time, never giving them a rest. Cybercrime is a cancer, cybercrime is a pest. Poison on a computer screen, the worst thing I have ever seen. Young people like to share the most intimate bits of information. Surfing the net is their passion, and exchanging pictures is a fashion. It happens in every country, in every nation, in every sort of way, all day. What they don't realize is that there is a danger when pictures and personal stuff can be seen on the screen by a stranger. The kind of people I despise will make their lives a living hell. They are so embarrassed, they are so ashamed that they are afraid to tell, and so it goes on and on. When no one does anything to stop them, these cybernet villains have won. These cybernet villains have won. Healthy young girls were once so vibrant and cheerful, become a shadow of themselves, desperate, depressed, tearful. They scream and shout but don't see a way out. More than often, it ends with death. Cybercrime killers see it as a game. They like to threaten, they like to toy with a picture, a face, a name. They don't care who they destroy. I think it's time for worldwide wrath. Even when a victim survives, it's one of so many lives. Cybercrimes left them with wounds and scars. Cybercrimes left them with wounds and scars. Very
Oh my God,
powerful
that
poem
was
with
very, very powerful.
talks about whatever you have explained. I just felt, yes, it explains it so beautifully. And only thing is, everything is available, but we people are not aware of
Very
these
important.
things. So, spreading awareness is the most important thing, and you are doing a great service over there. Congratulations once again, Dr. Kruti and
Thank you so
Rotary
much.
Club of Addiction Prevention. And thank you for Rotary Club of Mumbai Elite for joining this initiative. Of course, my million thanks, gratitude to Varun Kapur for this channel and all SSRN fans who are spreading this message that stop all kinds of addiction. Let us become healthy individuals. Wishing
Yes.
everyone a happy Deepavali, and we all wish that the darkness in our lives goes away, all negativity goes away, and we become aware and behave responsibly, whether it is in person or it is on the cyberspace. Thank you very
Yes.
much, Dr. Kruti, once again.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much,
Wish
and
you
Shubh
also a very
Deepavali to
happy
everyone.
Deepavali. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.